Hi, my name is Sherry from the blog OurLifeHomeschooling.com, where I share homeschooling encouragement for everyday moms. I am married to my husband Nelson, my high school sweetheart, for 22 years. We have 9 incredible kids, and I am a former public school teacher turned homeschool mom. I love sharing homeschooling encouragement with other moms because I know how much encouragement made a difference for me in our homeschooling journey. I'm going to be talking today about some simple steps that you can take to plan your new homeschool year. Plus, I'm going to give a sneak peek into our home and some of the spaces that we use for school. I want to share with you a simple guide for planning a new homeschool year. The first step that I would suggest for you is that you start your year with prayer. When I first started homeschooling over 12 years ago, it was a very intimidating adventure. I didn't have a lot of homeschool graduates that I could look ahead to and see, oh, look, colleges are trying to recruit them, or they're just well-established, confident individuals. I didn't know a lot of homeschool moms. I knew a couple. There weren't blogs that I could just, look up, or YouTube videos. This was, even just more than a decade ago. It just wasn't out there. So it did feel very risky. And as much as we felt that this was something that the Lord was calling us to, as passionate as I was about it, having taught in the public school system, I really felt like it was a great opportunity for an excellent education. But I still approached it very much from a standpoint of dependency. I just cried out to the Lord and asked Him for wisdom, for guidance. I felt that if we were going to start doing this, our kids needed friends. I needed support, and I didn't know where that was going to come from. From the very beginning, our homeschool experience started with prayer, and I just asked the Lord for help. And when I look around and see where our family is today, and how our kids have I'm just so thankful for the friends they have, for the co-op that we're a part of, for the education that they have. It just makes me realize that God has answered those prayers, and I don't want to lose that sense of dependency. I want to continue to start every year just asking for the Lord's help, asking for His wisdom. Start your year in prayer. Don't make the mistake of putting everything into your hands and trying to figure it out. It's a heavy weight. Start your year committing your homeschool to the Lord and wait and see what He does with it. Number 2, have appropriate expectations for yourself. You do not have to have everything planned out for the whole year on the first day. You don't have to have it all figured out. You may not even know exactly what it's going to look like, and that's okay. In many ways, you have to just start doing school before you really can see how it's going to flow and how your rhythms are going to work. I used to, when we were in the first couple years of homeschooling, every August would come around, and I would start to feel this weight of the new school year. And I always felt like I was not as prepared as I should have been. And what I started to realize after doing this for a couple years was that when it's summer, I want to fully live in that season and just completely enjoy summer. I don't want to have this weight of school starting. And then when school starts, we are fully in school mode. And I find that even just that first day, that first week, once we start school, and we like to start slowly, we ease into it, I start getting my inspiration back, and I start jotting down ideas of things that I want to do, or different things I want to look at, maybe to buy. And so, you want to have a plan, and you want to have things to get started with, but you do not have to have every single detail hashed out at the beginning of the school year. So have appropriate expectations for yourself. Number 3, purchase curriculum that you need for at least the first 2 weeks. Like I said, we really like to ease into our school year. We start out slowly. For me, this means having what we need for morning time, reading, writing, and math. We start out with those things. We don't necessarily start science on the first day. That very first day, the first week, we are not completing everything on our schedule that we probably will be once we get into the school year a couple weeks. We ease into it, and I really recommend this because I feel like if you just get started too strong, it's easy for you to burn out, for the kids to lose the love of learning. So some of the extra things like art study, geography, I don't know what the extra things are for you, but don't feel like you need to have all your curriculum, all your unit studies, your tools, your games, your manipulatives purchased for the very first day of school. Number 3, create a simple routine or checklist. I really hesitate to use the word schedule because to me, a schedule suggests time frames and which can become so rigid and it just makes you feel like you're always failing. You never can stay within the time frames. So this is probably going to look different depending on if you have a younger child or an older child. So younger children, you might want to make a simple routine for them. I did a whole post on 5 important routines for preschoolers. I will link that below. You want them to know what they're doing next, or you want to have a plan for yourself. We're going to have breakfast, and then we're going to do pickup and chores, and then we're going to do morning time, and then math, and then we're going to go outside. And you just want to know what's happening next. I highly suggest you keep it very simple and bare bones at the beginning of the year because I can guarantee you that you will have to change it. You run into roadblocks you never would have thought of. Things need to be tweaked. I always end up changing the kids' checklists after we get into a school year. We run into things that I hadn't even thought of, and things need to be tweaked. If you have older kids, you will want to write out a simple checklist for them. Older kids are more independent. They're able to, maybe you have some things that you do together, but then they have independent work. And so a checklist for them, if they have it the first day, they will be able to look and see what they have for the day and what they can start working on. And my experience is that kids like taking ownership of their work and seeing what they have to do and getting started on it. Number 4, create or organize your school space. Now, I want to say just from the very beginning, it's so tempting to look on Pinterest and see all these amazing homeschool rooms and to feel this pressure to create something that looks like that. And if that's you and you love doing that, and that just gives you a sense of, reward, if that's rewarding to you, then just enjoy doing that. Having an actual school room has not worked for us. For us, life meshes into school and school meshes into life. We never go to a separate space to do our schoolwork. The kids are always bringing their work to me when I'm working in the kitchen. I'm stirring a pot of soup. We're always sitting on the sofa. We spread out. Some of us are on the sofa. Some of us are at the table. So we have never had a specific schoolroom. I would suggest that you work to make your home a beautiful, warm place with interesting things that grasp their curiosity. Make your whole environment a place that is interesting. For many years, we lived a big family in a very small house. So there wasn't a lot of space for us to, spread out. We didn't necessarily have a lot of great spaces outside. We were working with just limited space, but I tried as much as possible to have interesting things around the home. In the fall, we brought in monarch caterpillars and we would watch them form their chrysalis and turn into butterflies. We tried to bring in as many interesting things as we could into our home. And when that wasn't, when we were kind of limited in that way, we made the world our classroom. We would go out to a lot of interesting places. So don't feel this pressure that you need to have this perfect space all ready for when you start school. Just work on making your home a place of beauty, warmth, flowers, music, art. Make it a place where your kids are constantly being distracted by interesting things. And here I'm going to share with you just a little sneak peek into our home and the spaces where we do school. I'm going to take you on a little tour of our home just to show you the space that we have to work in. We have never had a schoolroom. It just hasn't worked for me. To me, it would just feel very unnatural, like school is something separate from our life and our home, and that's just not reality. My kids like to spread out and work in, all the places of the house. They're often bringing things to me. So that's just not practical for us. We have lots of books. These are 2 of our bookshelves. And then we have, each of our kids has a bookshelf in their room. And we have a bookshelf in our room. We have 9 kids, so you can imagine that's quite a few bookshelves. We have a world map and just some nature pictures. This is our work boxes. So this is a space that we do use a lot. When I plan for school this year, I will go through each of those. You can see some of them are missing labels and they need to be organized. I had them clean it out last year, but you know how that goes. So I need to go through them and organize them. Each kid has 3 work boxes, one for reading, writing, and math. And this is where they keep most of their supplies. I need to take you outside as well because this is also a place where a lot of our school happens. And whenever we can, we like to be out here. The kids do a lot of their work out in the open air where they can think and just find a quiet place, and it's just really nice for them to be out here. Here's another space that we have. I like to have tables where they can sit and spread out and do their work. We have lots of seating areas. There's a sofa there and another chair. There's another desk where someone can sit and do their work. This is nice for the kids to be able to just spread out, find their space, and work quietly on their things. It does not usually look this empty and uncluttered. When we're doing school, we have stuff everywhere, and that's normal. That's good because when you're learning, it's not neat. You have things out and you're working on projects, and so it gets messy, and that's normal, and that's good. This is the room where probably most of our schoolwork happens. The kids just tend to gravitate towards the kitchen, and you can see we have our dining room table. This is where we have morning time at breakfast every morning. In this dresser here, I have just a lot of school supplies. We have pencils and our pencil sharpener. The top drawer is filled with just different colored pencils and card games and scissors, glue, stuff like that. In the middle drawer here, I have some of our morning time work that I do with the kids. I have our morning time folders, different books that I use for different things, poetry and art study and things like that. And the bottom 2 drawers just have some things for preschoolers, puzzles, coloring books, crayons. So this is where we keep a lot of those kinds of things. And this is the area where just a lot of our school happens, and our kids tend to just gather in this place. Also in our basement, I have 2 wardrobes like this that we just keep some school supplies in. I have notebooks, and I haven't bought all the portfolios, but I'll probably have a couple more 1/2-inch notebooks For their portfolios, we have math books up there, different bins for some of the manipulatives that I use for math, some Matchbox cars and Lincoln Logs. I have some Thomas the Train and Hot Wheel tracks and just different toys that are for the younger kids that are in the garage, and I'll just occasionally swap them out with some of the things in here. Here's our other wardrobe with just some games and some of these little looms that the kids like to use. Our barn, we have tons of animals that the kids like to play with, and some dress up and just doll baby stuff down there, and that these things get switched out with the things in the garage as well. Whenever it's nice out, I encourage the kids to come outside and do their work, read outside, take breaks, and we have a garden, and the kids, spend a lot of time in there. They help with a lot of the planting and getting the garden ready and harvesting. So this is also a very big part of where we do school. Number 6, buy a few basic supplies. Again, I hope you're getting the theme throughout this video, not to feel the pressure that you have to have everything ready for that first day. Like you have to have, every single thing that you're going to use for the year that first day. I like to buy a few simple supplies. Pencils. We go through pencils like crazy. So I buy lots of pencils. We have a pencil sharpener, an electric pencil sharpener, which is super handy. We use it all the time. Buy the basic supplies. Writing paper, notebooks, glue, scissors, ruler. I like to have at the beginning of the school year the 1/2-inch notebook that we use for our portfolios. That way, whenever we're ready to start putting samples in there, or for me to have the kids design the cover, we can just kind of get started. So that is one thing that I like to purchase before the school year starts. But just buy the basics, buy what you're gonna need to get started, because I find that I get a lot of ideas and I start making lists after we get started with the school year. I have, different projects that I wanna try, or, maybe there's a science experiment and there's some things that we need. And I notice that I think of those things more and my list grows as the school year starts. So just make sure you have the basic supplies. Number 7, plan a simple way to celebrate the first day of school. This can be anything that just marks your first day as something different. It does not have to be elaborate. You should not stress about it. Most of the time for our first day of school, we like to take a picture. I like to do individual pictures of the kids, and this truthfully takes so much time that it really is like a good chunk of our school day. We don't do a whole lot on that first school day. I take individual pictures of the kids, and I have also in the past, I have given them each a new book on the first day of school. This can be something I picked up at a thrift store. Sometimes it's just something that's in their list of books that I was going to purchase for that year, so I get it and make it as their new gift. I have been fancy and just done this pretty wrapping paper for them, and some years I wrapped it in newspaper. And that was okay. Kids do not care. They get so excited about having something new to open. So those are just some of the things that we do for the first day of school. Another thing that we've done is plan a nice breakfast, something that's different from the ordinary. And doing these kinds of things will just help you feel confident that you started the year off on the right foot, and will get them excited about school. So keep it simple, plan something small that you can do to commemorate your first day. And number 8, the last tip is don't stress. Remember that homeschooling, the heart of homeschooling, is discipleship and learning along with your kids. If you keep this in mind, you're not going to feel like you need to have all these projects planned, all these things that you're going to do with them. You're going to have more of the perspective that we're going to start our first day. we're going to open our books and just get started and make some progress. And we're going to continue making progress every day. Enjoy this time. Don't let the pressure of a new school year weigh you down and make you stressed out about all the things that you need to have done. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you like my videos and my content, would you please like and subscribe? When you like a video, it shows YouTube that this is the kind of content that you want to see, and they will share it with other people. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for listening in. Have a great day.